Okay guys, welcome to my next video with the setup. It's for Dubai GP track in the Z4 GT3. It's taken from the Apex Online League race I've just done. It's a setup that's took me probably a week's full of testing, a lot of alterations to get the perfect setup. I think I found one of the best setups I've done so far. This is an all band assist setup, so there's no traction control, no ABS, no stability control. Obviously if you want to use ABS, put the brake pressures all the way to 100%. And maybe put the brake bias to around 60%. But as you can see here, we had our brake ducts and radiator on 0% because mechanical failures were off for this league race that we were doing. So obviously with it off, take it all the way down to 0%. Fuel there was high, obviously for that's irrelevant. They're just settings really for the league race I was doing. Gear ratio 4.08. You can actually go one higher than that, but I chose that for the race to give me a bit better overall speed through with heavy fuel. Limited slip all the way down to 0. It's very strange that I had to do it for the Z4 because I don't normally need to do it, but for this track it just seems to work better. I had it on 200 on the limited slip as well, which was really strange, but it just seemed to help me on that track. Stopped any of the back end coming out. We upped the bumps up quite high as well actually. We did try 22, but I found 17 was pretty much the perfect balance because I wanted to keep the suspension quite low as well, which I did when we get there. The suspension was all quite aggressive again because obviously with a league race, practicing the track, I wanted it to be a very aggressive setup to get the best time possible and also be fast in the race. And it was really easy to drive, but the race didn't go to plan, but that was due to a bad start. Managed to get back to first place, and then we're battling for first place into the corner. We collided, and then as I was coming back on the track, I clipped another car and took the wall out basically, and my car was wrecked, so I had to drive to the pits with a wrecked car, and then that was pretty much the race over. I had to pit twice, but I managed to get 5th place from 2 pit stops, which isn't that bad. But you see there the rest of the setup, it's all pretty basic stuff, nothing different to normal. It's Camber's 1.2 for this track. I remember when I did a setup ages ago it was like 0.3, but obviously with the cameras now it's much better at 1.2. The caster angle actually went to 6.7 for this track. It definitely seemed to help as well for me, and I upped the rear toe to 0.4. Again, seemed to give me a lot more stability. I tried all different kinds of settings for this setup. Now this is a weird one, 210. For a track like this, I thought I'd be using much less like downforce, maybe 0.2, but 210 was by far the best way to go. And with the weight bias on 51.5, I went rearward with this time just to give the rear more stability. It helped the tyres a lot as well, as there was not as much wheel spin, so this setup should be really good for the race. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to obviously show you the settings for the force feedback, which are basically the same all the time. There's a little screenshot of the personal best time I got of a 154.2 in free practice, but that was over an hour. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the lap from my pole position lap from the 15-minute qualifying. I only had 15 minutes to get it, and I pulled off a pretty good lap because there was only 3 minutes to go and I was in 3rd place, and I pulled it out of the bag at the end. It maintains my 100% record of being pole position in league racing so far anyway. But I hope you enjoy the video and enjoy the lap. Subscribe and like, thank you very much.